Howdy, y'all. Welcome back. Today we'll be playing Our Life Beginning and Always Again. I'm looking off week to play this game again. Um, Even last Friday when we stopped, I thought about coming back on stream and doing another 2 hours maybe of playing this game again because I was like, kind of want to play a little bit more. But I was like, I can practice some self-restraint, do some more important things, and then come back to this at the appointed time. So we back again to play Our Life. So last time we left off on a very juicy note. Um, Apparently, what's his name? Mr. Holden or Cliff, or Clifford apparently is his full name. He so we had a sweet moment with Cole last time. Where Cole was feeling a little down, so he came and visited us, and he was basically expressing how awkward, how he wasn't ready for to have his mother come over, and for them to be together as a family of three for the summertime. He wasn't ready for that, and he felt betrayed that they didn't even ask him or tell him about it first. That was just gonna happen. So yeah, we had this little moment to comfort him, and then we later we find out from his mother that it was actually Clifford's idea, and Clifford actually told her that Cole wanted her to come to Sunset Grove, right? Is that Sunset Grove? Is that the name of the place that they live at? That we live at? So apparently it's another Clifford surprise. Apparently that's something that he's done before, and they weren't happy with that. So yeah, now we have an awkward family reunion that we have to that we that we will experience in this session. So a little juicy stuff, some juicy stuff is going on. But let's go ahead and get started. Come on now. There we go. Does it please work? Okay. So, we probably won't have a 2 hour stream today. I mean, we probably won't have more than 2 hours today. Because I have some homework I still need to finish. So, which is unfortunate. I would have done all the sessions. Not these, but, here we go. Here we go again with Derek's. We won't do Derek's right now, but we got these. Um, should we just start from, just start from left to right again? Okay. I can move this microphone out the way. I can't see. The family shopping trip had lasted most of the morning, and you still had to unload everything from the trunk before you could enjoy the afternoon. You carried another bag in your arms as you headed towards your house. It was one of the heavier bags from the grocery store, loaded with fresh apples, ripe tomatoes, a bunch of carrots, and even a half a watermelon. Watermelon, my favorite fruit. Ma came out from the front door and paused just ahead of you. Need a nap with that, Pascal? I can bring it the rest of the way if you want me to. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. It will be helpful. Yes, please. It was just too heavy. No, I've got it. You're doing just fine. No, I've got it. You could just manage to hold it. You eagerly agreed with a nod of your head. You needed someone else to take. You didn't say anything. You finished the job yourself. No problem. No, I got it. Even though, even though it was large, it really wasn't a problem for you. Ma gave you an encouraging grin and rustled your fingers through your yellow hair. You set the next bag on the counter. Your older sister began to root out the inside for the contents with a sigh. How much is left? Still a few more bags. With a huff and a puff, Elizabeth Continue putting away the groceries, and you retreat out of the kitchen before you become the target of a bad mood. Careful, Pascal. You hadn't been looking where you were going and bumped right into Mom, almost stepping on her toes to boot. Sorry. I can give you a pass this time, but be sure to watch where you're going. If you run into the wrong person, you might get your license revoked. She grinned at the bad joke as she continued through the door. Outside, Ma started organizing what remained and putting back any loose objects that fallen out during the trip. When you stepped up to the trunk beside her, she took in a big breath of air, her dress gently swaying around her in the breeze. It's a shame that we had to spend the morning cooped up in that shopping center. It's a beautiful day, don't you think? You tilted your head to the sky, gazing at a clear blue expanse. Yeah, it is. Days like this are my favorite. It's too hot. I wish it was raining. I like it when it's stormy the best. It's too hot. You wrinkled your nose, feeling a few beads of sweat gathered on your forehead from lifting stuff around in the sun. If there were a cloud or two to lessen the heat, you would be enjoying the weather a lot more. With a small sigh, you turned back to help Ma with the last of the bags. Oh, hi, Cove. You notice Mom wave over to Cove, who just exited his front door, his surfboard propped up under one arm. Let me see. Surfboard, a wetsuit. Where might you be off? Where might you be off to on this beautiful day? Hmm. I've never been surfboarding before. Cole flinched at being called to so suddenly. He hadn't realized there were people out here already, but he quickly recovered. Good one, Mrs. Whitlock. He crossed the pavement to properly say hello to you and your mom. Hello, honey. It's a beautiful day for surfing. I haven't been out on the waves in a long time. I'm jealous. Cole smiled, pleased to have people around who shared his hobby. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a few good waves before it gets dark. Do you want to come hang out later, Pascal? Sure, I'll meet you there when we're done. Oh, yeah, I could do that. All right. I came this time. This probably be how I'd be. Oh, yeah, I could do that. Cool. Cool. Can I help with anything? No, no, no. This is our job. You go enjoy the beach. Pascal can catch up as soon as he's finished in here. All right, I'll see you. Yeah. You watch as Cove headed off toward the beach, unable to hide your grin, knowing that you'll be joining him soon. Once everything had been taken in and put away, you got yourself ready to meet Cove at the beach. You had a surfboard in your room that you wanted to take with you. Your family had a surfboard around here somewhere. You weren't sure what you were going to do. He was surfing and you didn't know how. I mean, I don't know how to surf, so I would either do this or that. What does this say? Yeah, she has, she has a board. I'd at least be willing to try surfing. Can I take your boat to the beach? Sure, it's in the garage. Just remember to keep the leash on when you're in the water. After finding the board in the back of the garage and getting everything ready, you headed down to the beach. Have fun, honey. Stay safe. When you arrived at the shore, you were greeted by the crash of waves and soft calls of seagulls. You took in a lungful of the ocean air and felt your dark brown skin warm in the sun. You noticed a small set up nearby with a towel, some sunscreen, and a bottle of water. Come on now. Must be Cove. You spotted Cove himself nearby. He hadn't gone out to the sea yet. He was sitting in the sand at the water's edge, his board propped up beside him. You stood up beside him. Hey, I'm here. Pascal. He looked up at you with a smile and quickly hopped to his feet. I was wondering if you were still coming. I wouldn't have missed it. Sorry I had to wait. And stay inside all day? I don't think so. Sorry you had to wait. You don't have to say that. It's okay. Then he cast his eyes out towards the sea, toward the waves. Yeah, I borrowed this board, but I don't know how to surf. You dragged a toe through the sand. You may have had a board to borrow, but you were totally inexperienced actually using it. I guess I guess that makes sense. I've never seen you with one before. He laughed a bit and you felt no less embarrassed. You don't have to go out, you know. We can stay on shore. Or if you want, I could teach you. Uh I want to try surfing. I don't know, I'll be scared. I don't know. If I was actually in this situation, I probably wouldn't have done it all myself. But if my friend's here, I probably would be more encouraged to learn if someone is here to help me. Look at his face. He's so cute. I'll do it. Let's surf. Cool. You held Jamal's board tight. It was settled. You paddled out into the sea to where the good waves were. The water was cool against your skin. Oh wow, look at him. Uh, do you use to sit? Wait, do you sit on boards or do you wait log? Oops. Oh, is it blanket? It's the CG moves. Oh wow. Okay. But I thought you stood on them, but I guess you don't stand on it if it ain't a wave yet. Hmm. Not too calm, but nothing crazy. It looks perfect today. He smiled at you, and you couldn't help but smile back. You felt totally content until Cove kicked the water a little too hard and inadvertently splashed you. Hey, uh, sorry. The apology didn't come across as especially repentant, as he was practically laughing when he said it. You splashed him back. You let it go. Excuse me. We friends. We can splash back. You laughed, but waited for an opening for revenge. A second he looked away, you kicked back, spraying him. Is that any way to treat someone trying to help? I came out here to teach you. And I was just following your example. Cole tried to keep a straight face, but ended up looking away. The water you flicked at him landed in shiny droplets in his hair. Then here's another lesson. He soaked you deliberately this time. He used his full leg, and an impressive current of water hit you in your face. You lost your balance and scrambled to keep a hold of the board. You just managed to stay on it, but it was close. Cove winced. Uh, are you okay? That wasn't what I was trying to do. I'm fine, but we should do the real teaching. Yeah. He chuckled awkwardly and shook some water out of his ear. With that, Cove started telling you all the tips and tricks of how to stay on a surfboard. He demonstrated both good and bad posture and explained where you need to put your weight. Like this, you wiggled your body so that you were more in the center of your board. Cove nodded. Yep, just like that. The lesson continued and things clicked with you quickly. It had to go slowly, but you got it. You kind of struggled. It was disastrous. I mean, I'm not a natural at these things, what I'm saying. I mean, I don't really play sports, to be honest. I don't really play sports that much, so I don't even know if this would be natural to me. But if someone were teaching me stuff like this, I could get it after some time. You had to go slow, but you got it. Coach did his best to guide you through the process, and by the end, you felt you had picked up the basics of surfing. Since you spent so much time working on balance and stable water, you wondered when you'd actually get to catch some waves. You brought it up to Cove, and he nodded. If you think you're ready, go for it. You do great. All right. With that, you graduated from Cove's class, and two of you were able to surf together more casually, even if you were still better at it. What an afternoon! The sun was visible on the horizon. Every time you would look away, it had sunk a little lower. The beach was darkening, but still pleasantly warm. You knew should get out of the water before it was completely dark in the sea. You rode one last wave to get back to the beach. there, you picked up your surfboard and gave it a quick once over. Cole followed behind you to the shore. He put his board with the other things and grabbed his towel to start drying off. As he ruffled his hair with the towel, you watched the sunset together. The colors were beautiful in the distance, and the shadows around you deepened. There was no need for words between you two as you both enjoyed the sight for a moment. Cole broke the silence. The waves were good today, I think. Yeah, totally. I guess. Perfect for surfing. Did you really think so? I mean, how do I respond to this? I mean, I'm not a surfer, so how do I respond as a non-surfer? Let's be enthusiastic, I guess. He nodded mildly. You chatted a little more until the conversation truly died out, and all you heard was the rhythmic sound of the waves. Then Cove sighed. The day can't be over. Not yet. He scowled into the distance as if the sun exiting the sky was a personal offense. Don't you think it should be longer? I mean, it's the summertime. All the days extremely long. Yeah, it felt long enough to me. Only a stroke can express your feelings on the matter. Yeah. I mean, if it was me, I want summer to be as long as possible. Cove stood up straight in defiance of the approaching darkness. I'm not gonna go home yet. I wanna go somewhere. I don't know. Cove was still dripping in salt water, so you weren't sure what the alternative was. Wetsuits were fine for the beach and not much else. It wasn't a good time for him to lug his surfboard around town either. You'd be real cute in that wetsuit wherever you go. I mean, I would say that, but I mean, I might think that, but I won't say that. Well, I need to call it a night. Yeah, I want to do something else. Yeah, I'll do something too. We will sure be welcome anywhere soaking wet like this. Hmm. Well, I ain't gonna call it a night. I want to do something to show you welcome anywhere soaking wet like this. It'd be real cute in a wetsuit. Wherever you go, I probably will not say that in real life, so I'm not gonna choose it. But I will choose that next another playthrough, but not this one. Um, Co-founder took note of his current state and laughed. He shrugged. I'll say that. Then he looked down the shore with wide shining eyes. There's a place. There's at least one place that's always okay to hang out in, no matter what time it is. The park. He nodded. The park was virtually always empty. Even Elizabeth only went over there nowadays if she was looking for you. How times have changed. She used to be so protective of the place. In fact, the only person there was a chance of running into might be that Jeremy kid again. You brought the idea up to Cove and he cringed, but I'm still going. The sun is still there, a little. I'm staying on as long as it is. You tagged along. You went home. Well, we might as well tag along. Okay, let's go. Cove took a minute to put his stuff in order. He made sure to get it all, though it didn't take much. Kadeshek the standoff. You dealt with your own things. You stuffed everything together quickly. You took the time to pack your bag. I mean, I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of person. I'm done, Cove. I mean, unless I'm trying to make room, but if I just go, I'm about to spend that much time trying to fold things up and stuff like that. He rolled his eyes with a bent smile at the announcement. He led the way down the beach to the park. It wasn't far, so it didn't take you long at all. The sun had completely disappeared just yet when you made the arrival. Cole stuck his surfboard upright into the sand and tossed his towel over top. By now, two of you were mostly dry. The summer breeze on your skin kept you pleasantly warm. Cove idly went over to the monkey bars. He grabbed them, flat feet on the ground, and pretended to go across. He had definitely grown in the past few years. He had also outgrown the monkey bars. You were way too tall to play on them properly anymore. When you got to the bar in the middle, Cole pulled himself up and through, and sat on top of the bar. His legs dangled off the side of the bar he perched on. You joined him on the monkey bars. You didn't even have to stretch. You didn't even have to stretch to pull yourself up. It was a rather tall seat to clamber on, but it worked. Cole scooped over to give you more room to spread out. These monkey bars weren't made for two teens and on top of them. Guess what? He smiled broadly and raised an eyebrow. He's not here. Right. It was true. There wasn't a single sign of Jeremy. Looks like it was just going to be the two of you tonight. Cove hung his head and groaned dramatically. Your eyes widened when he whipped his head back up. Oh my gosh. I can't believe how dumb my parents are for forcing me to come to this stupid place. You were taken aback and blinked for a second before you realized he was calling Jeremy. Oh my gosh. Don't scare me like that. One Jeremy's enough. That's not really nice. Funny, but not nice. You don't have to tease them. Parents don't know anything. I mean, I'm the type of person to not be like that. So I would probably credit that. Haha, it's funny. It is funny, but it's not nice. Cole tried to look contrite, but ended up chuckling instead. You look around. The old park, the streets you knew like the back of your hand, and the beach. These were your stomping grounds. You wondered how Cove actually felt. How much was his joke just a joke? And how much was sincere dislike of this place? Moving had never been his choice. Do you actually like this neighborhood? I might be confident enough to say it. I want to hear what his thoughts are now. Or do I let the silence stretch? Do you really like the neighborhood? Do you really have to ask that, Pascal? Cove kicked his legs carelessly as they dangled. He smiled softly. I like it here. I really do. It's a nice place. He didn't hesitate. There was no uncertainty. That was his genuine opinion. Yeah, I like it too. Or at least one person likes it here. He nodded wordlessly. Well, of course. Well, of course. I'm here after all. You're the best thing in the neighborhood, Cove. So cringe. It is so cringe. I could not say that myself. Well, at least one person likes it here. I like it too. Mmm. How do I feel? How would I feel? Should I be like? Should I be kind of like implying that I don't? Oh, let's see. He shook his head with a rueful smile. That's it. That's all he. That's all his response is. I don't know how to react to that. I don't know. I'm trying to see. Um, would I like this place as a teenager? It's a nice small town, but would I be looking for something more since I've been here all my life? I'll say I like it too. I'll say that. I think that's probably what I would say. A content feeling fell between the two of you. It didn't take long for the date to finally draw to a close. The sun was gone and it was dark. You chatted a while longer, but it was definitely winding down. better get home. I wish the days were longer. You chose not to say anything. We better get home. Already? Already? He seemed just to notice how dark it was. It was hard to make out his exact expression with his face in the shadow. I guess I lost track of time. Cove sighed. It was time to go home. He hopped down from the monkey bars with a thump to when his feet hit the ground. You clambered down the monkey bars yourself. You lowered yourself more slowly than Cove and barely made a sound when your feet reached the ground. Cove grabbed the surfboard and threw his towel around his neck. With his water bottle in hand, he was ready. You both began your trek up the road. It was a quiet night, and you didn't run into anyone else. And what felt like no time at all, you reached the street. As you walked, Cole smiled to himself. It was a soft expression. You couldn't help but wonder what put it there. Everything okay? I just remember when we were younger, it used to be such a big deal to come home after dark. You could indeed recall. If it got sandy, your parents would have something to say. If you got wet, your parents would have more to say. And if you came home after dark, well, your moms and his dad better have said it was okay beforehand. You used to need permission for everything. That small comment he made exposed just how much freedom you really had this summer. Cove looked up into the sky. A smile saw on his face as the two of you walked side by side, reminiscing. When you came to your houses, you turned to each other. Thanks for the day, Pascal. Bye. It was nice seeing you. It was definitely an interesting experience. Yep. I hope this day come too. Thanks for the awesome day. Thank you for teaching me. You waved and you both turned around to respective houses. This is a pleasant end to your outing, you thought. Growing, family, dinner, road trip. That was nice. I liked that. Growing, interesting. I don't think I played this one. I don't think I played Waves. I did play Waves last time, but I don't think I did this one. I don't think this was available. Early one afternoon, you found yourself in the living room with your family. It was another one of those summer days where it felt too hot to go outside. It was too uncomfortable to do anything inside either. Air conditioner was cranked up as far as you could negotiate it, but everyone was still pretty lazy. You, your moms, your sister were lounging around while the TV blared on in the background, ignored by all of you. You especially were lying spread eagle on the carpet. What does that mean? Spread eagle? What does that look like? To stand or move with arms and legs stretched out. Sprawl. Ah, okay, I see. I probably should have clicked on images because I'm seeing some interesting images pop up in my Google images. I'm seeing. Okay. Lying spread eagle on the carpet, sitting cross-legged on the floor, perched on the arm of the couch, dripped over over the coffee table, perched on the arm of the couch. See what perch does that convey the what I'm thinking exactly? Huh? What would I be doing right now? Sitting cross-legged? Probably not. Get over the coffee table. Perched on the edge of the couch, a line spread eagle on the carpet. I don't know. Hi to Gabriella. Welcome. Welcome. We just finished our surfing date with Cole. We had a date at the beach, and he told me how to surf. It was nice. Um, but yeah, that's all we've done so far. Why is it so hard for you to decide? Okay, let's say it's pretty. Why do I do? I don't know. Let's personalize the couch. What would I do? Wait. Oh wait. Okay. I don't know what I would do. I probably do this. Let me cross it on the floor. Okay, that's probably what I'll do. You looked out the windows of the backyard, not that there was anything of particular interest to watch. Elizabeth broke the silence with a loud groan. You glance over. You glance over. She was lying on her back. She was lying on her back over the couch, massaging her calf with one hand. Ugh. I don't know if you watched the VOD from the stream last week, but Cove's mom is staying with us this summer. Apparently, Clifford Branch was surprised to have Cole's mom stay with them this summer, and there was a whole drama surrounding it. Cole was not happy about that at first, and she only came because she thought Cole wanted it, but Mr. Holden, Cole's father, uh, apparently set it up without either of them knowing the full truth. So, so you saw it. She's so pretty. Yes, she's so pretty. Okay. I feel terrible. I'm dying in this house and my legs hurt. Mom looked up from the magazine she barely been flipping through and frowned in concern. Could you have straightened them somehow? Elizabeth fell briefly, then flopped on her side with a heavy sigh. I don't know. It just hurts. Oh, sweetheart. Ma got up from her seat at the kitchen table and walked over to her sister. She did a light pat on Elizabeth's shoulder sympathetically. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Maybe it's just growing pains? Maybe it's growing pains? You could be taller by next fall. Elizabeth scoffed. She didn't look impressed by Ma's assessment. I'd rather be my height forever than have to deal with this. I don't know how old she is. Wait. She said her leg hurts? Her leg hurts. Okay. So I was like, I don't know. She's older than 13, right? Well, she's probably undergoing puberty by now already, so that's probably. I was thinking, like, is she getting menstrual cramps or something like that? Like, is this the first thing is this her first time? But I don't know. She seems like she probably had them already based on her age. Mom walked over too, leaning back against the couch. Kids, they grow up so fast. So Elizabeth will have a home of her own. Maybe with a nice husband, some kids, if she feels like it. She sniffed loudly and wiped out her eye, but you could tell it was just a joke. Just a bit. You took to your head. Even though you knew Elizabeth liked guys, it was still hard to imagine her with a boyfriend or a husband. She only seemed invested in hanging out with a group of friends, not chasing after boys. Mom must agree with you because she shook her head. Let's not exaggerate. She's still practically a child. But if you ever do pursue romance, Elizabeth, you can come talk to me about it. Definitely. And we're always willing to lend an ear. Elizabeth's features contorted in disgust. No way. I am not talking to my moms about that. I hate that. My parents always try to get me, not just me, but all my siblings, always trying to, you know, always trying to, so, like if we had a crush on someone, if we like someone, they're always trying to know and pry and figure it out and stuff like that. Like, no, that's my privacy, please. Mom's jaw dropped and she gasped an exaggerated display of shock. Her hand came up to the rest against the chest. Mom only grinned. She didn't look offended by Elizabeth's quick response at all. It really wouldn't be so bad to come to us. I know what it's like to have a crush on a pretty boy, too. I don't, but I can listen anyway. Okay, the mom's bisexual, apparently. Okay. bisexual representation. Mom snorted at her own joke while Ma burst into giggles. They were having a little too much fun at Elizabeth's expense. Elizabeth certainly wasn't feeling the amusement because she rolled her eyes and sat up. I'm going back to my room. I'd rather melt alone, thanks. She strode off towards the staircase, taking the steps two at a time. Your mom stared after her, then turned to each other with raised eyebrows. Whoops, looks like we scared her off with all the romance talk. Oh well, we'll get to her next time. You watched them titter with some surprise. Obviously, your mom's liked women, but you had no idea that mom liked guys too. Today was the first time you heard her say something like that. Ma, I always thought you only liked ladies. You like guys too? Ma turned to you, happy to bring you into things now that you've spoken up. She smiled and nodded. That's right, I like both. But I like your mom the most out of everyone. She's special. Oh, look at them, so cute. Ma's smile turned all soft in the corners, like it usually did when she looked at her. She pinched Ma's cheek lightly. Ma reached up to cup her hand over Ma's. Mom reached over to cup her hand over Ma's. Even when Ma stopped pulling her cheek, her hands remained clasped together. Thanks, Lonnie. I think most women have a charm, but no one can hold a candle to you. Oh, Pamela. Bob beamed to kiss Mom on the cheek as she'd been kissed on kiss Mom on the cheek she'd been pinching before. Okay, so I might be thinking it's cute as the player of the game, but if these were actually my actual parents, I would be cringing so hard. Whenever my parents kiss each other, do romantic stuff in person, like I always cringe. But as like a reader of a game, I think it's cute. But I would cringe. You slouched down as if that would hide you from the sight. Why were your parents like that? Ma looked back to you, let Mom's hand go to brief squeeze. She settled down next to you, and Mom followed her soon after. I'm also here to listen to you whenever you're ready. That all for just isn't just for Elizabeth. She bumped her shoulder with jaws, a reassuring smile in place. There's no rush, of course. You can take all the time you need to figure out what or who you want. Don't think you have to stick with whatever you come up with right now, either. Life's nice like that. It can change and you can learn. Ma nodded her agreement. The two of us are happy to hear you out, and we may be able to relate better than you think. Still, we won't push the topic, at least most of the time. She gave Ma the weakest scathing look possible while being able to stop grinning. Thanks. You nodded silently. You shrugged. You don't have to worry about it. I'd rather pass on all that. Let me see. How I usually respond to my parents is that I just nod along. Yeah, okay. Even though I don't really ever think on really planning on talking about romance and stuff with my parents. I just nod silently. You weren't sure what to say to that. Mom let another exaggerated sniffle. Didn't take a genius to realize it was fake. First Elizabeth and now you, Pascal. Do you have to grow up? First Elizabeth and now you, Pascal. Do you have to grow up? Yes. Children tend to do that from time to time. Your parents quickly grew absorbed in the conversation about rearing kids. You took that as your cue to leave, getting up so you could spend some time alone in your room to let you go without a problem, so you made your way up the stairs. You let out a sigh once you stepped into your room. It was just as sweltering in there as it was in the living room, possibly even a little warmer. You couldn't even open your window since it was hotter outside, and you just let the AC out. You dragged your feet as you crossed the room. You checked your current sweltering condition in the mirror as you passed by it. You thought back to the conversation you had downstairs about growing up and all that. After a moment, you stepped in closer to the mirror. You stared into it, then turned away from the surface to look down at yourself. You were definitely growing all right. It was weird thinking about how you were now, in comparison to what you had been when you were younger. When it came to your body, it was getting some muscle definition nowadays. Was chubby, was slender, was heavyset, was sort of scrawny. I've always been very skinny. Yeah, I've always been very skinny. I do want to work out and get some definition to myself, but I've always been very lean, tall and lean. Yeah, that's how I've always been. You shifted to the side, your head still facing forward and continuing the self elevation from this viewpoint. At birth, you were assigned female, and at birth, you were assigned male, and you were born intersex. Okay. They give you the option to determine if you trans or not. That's nice. Um, so at birth, I was assigned male. Your chest was only flat. Your chest was flat, but you thought about it being different. Chest was flat by birth, but you aimed to have breasts through hormone therapy. Um, I'm assuming that this might mean that you want to have pecs. Is that what it's saying right now? Yeah, some pecs would be nice. You try to imagine what it would be like. Maybe someday you make that change. Took a step backwards, inspection, finished your impromptu inspection, you locked eyes with your reflection, cocking your head to the side. All things considered, you thought you looked fantastic. You didn't look too bad. You had no idea how to feel. You simply felt neutral. You were self-conscious. You wanted to look different than how you did. This is kind of hard. 13. What grade was I in 13? I was like 8th grade, right? In 8th grade. How did I feel in 8th grade? I think, are you 13 in 8th grade? I think you are. Um, I would either say self-conscious or wanted to look or just wanted to look different. I don't, as like a prepubescent child, I always thought that I looked nice, but then when I had like into middle school, like late elementary, middle school, started to get self-conscious, started to look ugly. I could look, you know, thought I could look nicer. Then late in high school, well, actually, was it after high school? Maybe it was after high school because after high school I started. Yeah, after high school. After high school, I got some piercings. I started taking care of my hair. I got some new glasses. That's when I started really liking myself a lot more. I'm not saying I didn't like myself in high school, but I think after high school is when I was, starting to like myself more. I guess I say I was self-conscious. What I frown at myself in the mirror? Um, what does it say? Self-conscious. Okay, let's just use this. It took you a moment to realize you were frowning at yourself in the mirror. You glanced away from the mirror. You shook your head roughly, putting thoughts of what you would turn into out of your mind. Oops. This wasn't the time to focus on such things. You had to find out something to do in this heat. You shuffled over to your bed and collapsed it onto the mattress, your brows scrunched up in the thought. Time passed slowly, and to your annoyance, possible ideas about what to do were far in between. You weren't sure how long it had been, but eventually you heard your mom call you from downstairs. Pascal, there's a call for you. Cole wants you to come over. Is that all right? You perked up at the words, sitting up in bed. You yelled back to her immediately. Yeah. You got to your feet and headed downstairs, eager to see your friend. You need to go downstairs soon anyway, since your empty stomach, told you it was almost time for lunch. Just as you reached the bottom of the stairs, you saw Mom put the phone back on the receiver. She glanced at Mom, leaning her hip against the kitchen counter. Well, here comes trouble. We better prepare ourselves. Ma clicked her tongue and cleared as approval of Mom's words. He's such a good boy. Cove never wants to cause trouble. He can just be a bit thoughtless and impulsive. Oh, I know, he's very sweet, but that's what makes him more of a problem. If a stranger or some kid from school was egging Pascal on to behave badly, I think we can both agree that he'd do the right thing in the end. In the end. But if Cove Holden got into a reckless mood and wanted Pascal to be part of the ride, can we be certain what call he'd make then? Yes, I think so. Pascal helps Cole settle down. He would have gotten himself into more trouble without him. You have a point. Look, all I'm saying is that I haven't forgotten that time when they were kids and Pascal chased after Cole once he ran away. Amal just laughed as she turned away, snow snorting. Her eyes met yours. She blinked in surprise and waved at you with an easy grin. Mom looked over, noticing you at the foot of the stairs as well. Oh, I didn't expect you to come down already, Pascal. I just wanted to let you know what was happening. You pretending you didn't hear that conversation. You called Mom out on her comment. Um, I mean, what she said was rude. I think so. That was rude. But would I call her out in person? Am I that type of person to do that? Yeah, I think we close friends. I'll probably do that. Well, if I hadn't come now, then I wouldn't have heard everything you said. Oh, you got caught, Pam. What? You were saying things too. I didn't say anything I wouldn't have told Pascal directly. Oh, you're unbelievable. You shook your head at your parents, even as you fought a blush when you remembered what they were discussing. All right, you got me. I'm sorry for being gossipy and saying that about your friend. I can be bad too. We'll get out of your way now. Mom sighed and mocked defeat as she made her way down the hall. Mom followed after her with a hushed giggle. Now you were alone in the living room, Tassa waiting for Cove. And that was just fine with you. If it hadn't been so hot outside, you would have visited him at his house a long time ago. You took a seat at the kitchen counter and settled in for the wait. As expected, there was a knock at the door a few minutes later. When you got up and answered it, your neighbor was standing on the other side. When he came in once you stepped aside to let him pass, giving a little wave. You greeted him as you typically did. As I typically did, with a wave, a low five, a nudge to the shoulder, with a nugget, with a hug. A wave, probably. You waved back, closing the door behind him with your free hand. Cove sighed and wiped his face a bit. You noticed a sheen of sweat across his brow. He seemed to be glad to be back in an air-conditioned place, even if you only have to walk across the street to get there. Is something going on? Why'd you want to come over? I don't want to do anything. Not when it's like this. He gestured vaguely at the humid air hanging around. I thought I could at least do nothing with you. Oh, that's so sweet. You thought that was really sweet. How'd you know I was gonna do nothing? Maybe I had plans. You nodded. That made sense to you. I was thinking the exact same thing. I thought that was really sweet. His words were nice and expressed a real fondness for you in a strange sort of way, which was usually the case with Cove. Oh, have you had lunch yet? I was gonna do it soon. He shook his head. I haven't really felt like eating because of the heat. I probably should have lunch. I didn't have breakfast this morning. Yeah, I get like that sometimes too. You should eat properly. You didn't eat at all? You gotta have something now. Great, we can eat lunch together. Yeah, great. We can eat lunch together. Cole nodded, looking content at your suggestion. Okay, cool. Right? Isn't he so sweet? As one, you headed into the kitchen. You crossed your arms as you glanced around, wondering what you should scrounge up for a meal. I don't want to eat anything that's warmed up. Is there something cold or not cooked? Yeah. After a bit of back and forth, the two of you conclude that you should raid the fridge and cabinet in order to make sandwiches. Ooh. I'm not that type of person. I don't like making sandwiches that much. I used to eat cold sandwiches all the time, and I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of cold sandwiches. Like turkey sandwiches, like you have this. I used to make a sandwich with like slices of bread, processed lunch turkey meat, and lettuce and mayonnaise. But I'm like, I don't like eating cold sandwiches. I don't. I want something that's warmed up and that's cooked. With that settled, you had planned to decide on the outside layers first. There was a wide variety to choose from since everyone inside your house had their favorites. There was white bread, wheat bread, sourdough, mixed grains, gluten-free bread, and pita pockets. Can you take the gray one for me? Sure. You reached for mixed grains, then you made your decision. Okay, so if I am gonna make a sandwich, I would pick um, white bread. You pulled out the white bread, sent both items onto the counter. Yes, if they're toasted, that makes it so much better. If you had to decide what main direction the sandwich would go, then you had to decide what main direction the sandwich would go in. A sweeter type of sandwich. What does that even mean? You want to make a sweeter style of sandwich? How would you make a sandwich sweet? You put fruit in it or something like that? I have never heard that. You want to make a truly savory style of sandwich. What is a sweet sandwich? Some savory will make it feel like a real meal. That's what the specific ingredients. Okay. If I have everything I wanted, let's see. Turkey slices, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, cheddar cheese. I don't know. Would I put pickles on a turkey sandwich? I usually only put pickles on burgers. No, I probably wouldn't do that. Okay, let's move on to condiments. For the finishing touch, you tend to top your sandwich with mayonnaise if it's turkey. And that's it. Nothing else. Who put salt and pepper on the sandwich? Like on the sandwich afterwards? It's very interesting. I didn't really like mustard at the time, but now I kind of do. I didn't put mustard on it. Nah. I like mustard now, but at the time I did not like it. Oh, jam or chocolate. Oh, Nutella. That makes sense. I do not eat that stuff. So that's the reason why I just didn't come to mind. I do not like jam. I do not like jelly. And I can't eat Nutella since it has tree nuts in it. So, yeah. Even if I could, I probably wouldn't think to put chocolate on a sandwich. Yeah. So that's okay. I forgot that people do that, but I don't do that. You nodded to yourself with a quiet hum, satisfied. The two of you bustled around the kitchen, closing and opening and closing things in order to collect everything you needed for your individual sandwiches. You focused intently on assembling your own for the most part. When you were close to being done, though, you glanced over at your neighbor. Cope was putting his sandwich together delicately, his brow furrowed and his tongue sticking out just barely. Is it a shame? I mean, I wish I could eat Nutella just to see what the hype was about because I know people love that stuff. So I'm like, I'm kind of curious to see how good it is, but I don't know. But yeah, allergens themselves, I do hate allergens so much. I do hate it. This stuff I want to eat that I can't eat because it has nuts and stuff in it. Cove, and I kind of have some of my allergies kind of severe. Cove was putting a sandwich together delicately. Okay, I read that. There were open jars of peanut butter and honey near his plate, as well as a banana peel. Oh yeah, people put peanut butter and honey on this stuff. I do not eat peanut butter either. I think I am allergic to peanut butter too, but I think I've eaten peanuts. I think I think when I was real young, I was not allergic to peanuts because I've eaten peanut butter and not felt bad about it because my father loves peanut butter and he would give it to us. But as I grew up, I think I kind of developed a peanut allergy, so I haven't eaten peanut butter since. And I don't like the smell. The smell of peanut butter is just, I don't like it at all. So I'm not even upset about that. But this is peanut soup that I saw that I wanted to make, and I'm so upset that I can't eat it. Because I haven't had my allergies checked by a doctor, but I'm pretty sure now I'm allergic to peanuts. So I want to try it. It looks so good. It was a chicken soup that's made with peanut butter with some sweet potatoes, and it's like a nice savory, buttery soup. It looks so good. It's like a soup cover type stuff, but I can't eat it. I'm pretty sure I can't eat it. That sounded great. You didn't think much of that. It seemed weird. That seems weird. You would have done at least some things differently. Curiosity satiated, you turned back to your plate and finished your own creation. By the time you were done, Cove had already cleaned up his workstation. He turned to face you, studying your sandwich briefly. A small smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. You hadn't guessed it didn't you guessed it didn't look inedible to him at least. Done? Yeah. Cool. He waited as you quickly returned the greetings and cleaned a few utensils until you collected your respective plates. You both agreed on heading upstairs to hang out in your room. You and Cove entered your bedroom while balancing your food on the plates. None fell, so it was a successful trip. That would not fly at my house. My parents would not let me eat in my room. They hated. They still hate that. Whenever I go back, they still hate the fact that I eat in my room sometimes. My father told me, "I better not see you eat in your room again." He keeps. I've said that several times, like, "Yo, I won't eat," but I still end up eating in my room sometimes. Like, just bringing chips in my room sometimes, eating it. He hates that so much. So Cove took a seat on the ground, stretching out on the hardwood floor in an attempt to keep a bit cooler. He, ten- he immediately took a big bite of the sandwich, chewed and hummed happily. The sandwich is really good. At least that's something. At this point, you sat down and started your own sandwich. You nodded. You were enjoying yours too. Obviously, you were pro at making sandwiches. He leaned back on his hands while chewing and glanced around. His every movement was sluggish. Want to do something? But here's the thing. I've never had ants in my room. Now we've had mice. I don't know if I ever had a mice. Had a mouse in my room, but there's been a mice in the house before. But I don't think I've ever had ants in my room. But my parents are still so upset that we eat in our room when I've never had an ant infestation. Want to do something? He seemed. It seemed the plan of not doing anything at all had already worn thin, despite his lack of enthusiasm. Like what? He rolled his head back, looking up at the ceiling. What about tic tac toe? You laughed at the suggestion, but went along with it. Yeah, neither you had much energy for something more taxing. You grudgingly humored it. You thought it was a nice idea. Sure, why not? I laugh at the suggestion. You put your plate to the side and pulled out some markers and scrap paper. As you laid everything on the floor, you scooted back to make room in front of you. Cove picked up one of the markers with his right hand while keeping half slice of sandwich in his left. I want to be X's, so you can go first. I think that's fair. Okay, that works for me. You prepared to note down your first move, your marker hovering over the paper. Oh, we can actually do it. Okay. Um, I mean, I feel like okay. How do you win a tic tac? There's a trick to winning this game. If you go first, I think you're supposed to put it. How does it go? Wait, I'm trying to imagine. You don't put it in the center, right? I think that's a bad move. I think it was. Oh. How did it go? There was a trick. Oh, okay, can I come back to this later if I don't? I'm gonna save right here so I can probably try to win next time. I think you're supposed to like put one here. Ooh. Oh, we didn't get. Oh, oh. After the first round, you were able to take another bite of your sandwich when a thought occurred to you. Oh, that's it. You only get to pick the first move. That's it. Oh. I wonder if anyone turned off the TV downstairs. Hmm. The TV was the TV. It was on earlier, but no one was really watching, and everyone started leaving the living room. I know it didn't turn off. It might still be on downstairs with no one there. Crow smiled quickly at that. Poor show, playing with no one around to enjoy it. What was it? He squinted off into the middle of the distance, trying to recall the show's name. I feel like it was some kind of crime solving drama. Cove nodded sleepily. His eyes closed and opened again with some effort. Can you give me some? Can you give me any specifics? Maybe I can guess it. Yeah, I imagine like having some type of AI to do all the moves would probably be uh, a little hard for like, especially like a visual novel. Well, you rested your chin on the open palm, groggily thinking as hard as you could. I remember there was a woman with long blonde hair, I think. She was one solving crimes, like a detective or something. There was scenes in a police station, cause someone got arrested. You lapsed into silence, the both of you thoughtful, and Cove chuckled. It wasn't that funny, but you joined in the laughed anyway. I don't know what that is. Me neither, and I just saw it. Oh, we do get to play. Oh, we just talk as we play. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Let's see. How do you do this? Nice. Um, I don't know. I'm doing terribly at this. Another round came and went. Okay, so round just means each turn. I guess that's what it means. A turn. Came and went. Cole grumbled as he readjusted himself. His features were twisted in a grimace. I feel so sticky. I'm gonna be stuck to this floor forever now. I have to charge you rent then. You can be my new room if you want. Guess we'll be stuck here forever. I'm sticky too. No way, I'll pay you off if I have to. You just smiled, just whining. Mm, if this was me, I probably would just smile. It was always funny to hear Cole just be so dramatic. You smiled to yourself. Then you returned to the game. I'm doing terribly. No, that's not how it's supposed to go. Okay. Cole spoke up once more, catching your attention. He was peering down at the piece of paper between you, his expression thoughtful. You know, tic tac toe is such a weird name for a game. What does it even mean? Maybe people named it that because people played it with ticks and tacks. I've always wondered about that too. I have to look it up later. It's a really old game. No one sure where the name come from. I'll probably be the one to say I'll look it up later. I'm always doing that. Maybe I'll do that too. That said, the two of you turn your attention back to the game. Okay. Ah, yeah, we lost. By this point, Cove had finished his sandwich. Yours was almost gone too, but now you were getting thirsty. You brought it up to your neighbor. Should I go downstairs and get some drinks? I was thinking that too, but I don't really want to get up. Me neither. You looked over at him, narrowing your eyes with false suspicion. But hey, what happened to you not being able to get up ever again because you were stuck to the floor? That's still true. I mean, we're not actually going, are we? I only thought about it. You rolled your eyes and dropped to Isha, defeated. Cove grinned a little at your disappointment over his victory. Okay. Well, it's a tie. But speaking of the name of tic tac toe, um, in Britain, in Britain, the game is called Noughts and Crosses. Naught, which means nothing, is an old English word for nothing, and it's often used as a synonym for zero. And then cross, obviously, is a cross, right? So like the name is just zeros or circles and X's. That's how it's called in Britain. Which I think noughts and crosses is tic tac toe has a sort of ring to it. I like, but noughts and crosses makes sense based on you know the circles and X's. Oh, it's a tie. Were you out of it? I know I didn't try that hard. He smiled at you in an amused way. You somehow weren't surprised by that, despite Cole being the one who suggested the game in the first place. He started to yawn, his hand coming up to cover his mouth. It quickly transitioned to a small laugh. You understood why. Yawning just as he said he Yawning just as he said he was feeling disinterested was kind of a funny coincidence. Oh, it's called gato. Interesting. Interesting. Let me see. I wonder if those it comes from the same root, or it's just a coincidence that they both have the same name. Um, you laughed along with Cove. You should have just taken the challenge more seriously. You were the one who was suggesting in the first place. You shook your head at him. You were the one who wanted to play this in the first place. Cove just grinned and flopped onto his back, leaving his marker on the floor beside him. You stayed seated, looking your friend over as he stretched himself out. You really are so tall now. Cole snickered at the random topic. He propped himself onto his elbows to meet your gaze. Why are you even bringing that up? You shrugged. It made perfect sense to you to bring it up. When moms were talking about me and Elizabeth growing up, getting bigger and stuff. What kind of stuff? Well, mom really likes women, but mom likes women too, but not just women. Yeah? The two of you were just. Since two of you were engaged in the conversation, Cove got back into a sitting position. He brought a knee up and rested his arm atop it. A wistful expression overtook his face. I wonder when I'll know how I feel about that kind of thing. You don't know? Cove shook his head. I heard at some point you're supposed to start liking types of people, guys or girls or whoever. But I haven't. Nothing's changed. Maybe I have to grow up more. Oh, Cove, you not alone. You are not alone. Maybe you just don't like anybody. Or maybe you like all. Wait. Maybe you just don't like anybody. Or maybe you like all types of people. That's normal too. Cove seemed to appreciate the thought. The smile that appeared on his lips was an indication. Okay, what about you? Who do you like? He turned his attention to you, looking encouraging. You were starting to have a physical attraction in a general way. You only seem to feel physical attraction in specific occasions, cases, and situations. You didn't really have a physical interest in other people. You didn't think you could tell if you had interest in people physically. I mean, I do have physical attraction to people. So, yeah. You will start to have romantic attraction in a general way. You only seem to feel romantic attraction in specific cases and situations. You didn't really have a romantic interest in other people. You didn't think you could tell if you had interest in people romantically. Okay, well, this one that I've talked about before already. You didn't really think if you could tell if you had interest in people romantically. But specifically when it came to how you feel towards boys, you found them attractive. You thought you'd be happy with a guy someday. You found them attractive, but you hadn't thought about being with a guy. You weren't physically attracted, but you would be happy to be in a romantic relationship with a guy. You weren't interested in guys. You generally weren't interested in guys, but there were special exceptions. I would say that I found them attractive, but you hadn't thought about being with a guy. And how you feel towards girls, um, you found them attractive. You thought you'd be happy to be with a girl someday. You found them attractive, but you hadn't thought about being with a girl. You weren't physically interested, but you would be happy to ever have a romantic relationship with a girl. You weren't interested in girls. You generally weren't interested in girls except in girls, but there were special exceptions. Okay, you found them attractive. I've always thought of myself when I grew up. I always thought that I would get married and have a wife. Now I don't think that's necessarily true, but I did think that if that happened to me, I'd be happy. And obviously, you know, it doesn't have to be a girl necessarily for me to be. I don't have to have a female partner to be happy. But at the time, I imagined I didn't really think about being a relationship like a live-in partnership with a guy. But a girl, I've always thought about that. For people who aren't exclusively male or female, you found them attractive. You thought you would be happy with someone. Okay, it's basically the same thing, so I'm not gonna read everything out. I mean, at this age, I never really thought about not marrying people. But if I'm gonna retroject that into the past, I probably feel probably the same way I probably felt about guys at the time, maybe. You returned your attention to Cove. He was waiting patiently for your response. You explained how you felt to Cove. You rather not talk about it. Uh, I haven't even told my own sibling. My sibling is they recently came out as trans femme, and they came out as bi to our family. Before that, I knew for quite. I knew before they came out to the entire family. I already knew that. They felt comfortable telling me about that. But I haven't even told them anything. They just assume that I am a cis straight man. So I don't know. Would I feel comfortable telling Cole about that, or would I just, if I'm even have even told my own closest sibling? Let's see. I'd probably say I'd rather not talk about it. He nodded, understanding at your response. You were glad that he didn't press the issue. Then he scratched the back of his head, sheepish. I'm not really sure how we ended up talking about all that when we started out just playing tic-tac-toe. But I was good, I think. I think so too. You shrugged. It was awkward. The conversation had a mind of its own. You just nodded quietly. The reason why I haven't said anything, by the way, is just because I feel like I'm not so clear about my own thoughts to myself. I'm still thinking about how I feel. So it's like I don't want to say anything and put it out there. Because I know people say you can always change and things like that, but I kind of don't want to put something out there and then have it not be, you know, like the people I know, like people I know in real life and that I like have a regular ongoing interaction with. I don't want to put something out there and then have it like not be uh, sure. Um, you shrugged. Cove chuckled a little bashfully. He glanced around, clearly scrambling for something else to say. So, have you written anything new recently? Yeah, actually, I'm really glad you brought it up. The conversation took a lighter turn after that, and it felt like you got closer that afternoon. Finally, the blazing sun began to set. I think the only thing I've said is how I don't know if you watched Jane Animation, but Jane Animation made a video coming out as Arrow Ace, and when that came out, I did talk to my sibling about um, being like about considering myself to be thinking about maybe I was on the aromantic spectrum. So that's the only thing I've said, but I haven't said anything else. But yeah, I mean, like when Jane Animation was explaining how they felt when they felt, I was like, wow, I relate to what she was saying. So, and they kind of relate to. I don't know exactly how they feel about them being on the A spectrum, but they kind of relate in some way. But I don't know how they feel about the A spectrum. But yeah, I think that's the only thing I've said to them. Finally, the blazing sun began to set. To your relief, the air cooled down a bit as a result. You pulled yourself off the floor, as did Cove, with some minor complaint. You both stretched your arms, groaned, and yawned into your hands. You glanced out the window briefly, taking in soft reds, pinks, and purples of the late afternoon sky. Somehow you made it through the scorching hot day in one place. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I feel like that video's a nice. It's fun. It's animated nicely, and it's also really relatable to people and explains things in a you know clear and entertaining way. So yeah, that's a nice video to show. Cole turned towards you, motioning towards the window with his chin. Want to go outside? It might be better out there than just right here now. Sounds good. I could really use some fresh air. Two of you took your time, headed downstairs. You stopped briefly to grab a drink of water, then continued on your way. You step outside one after the other, your destination being the familiar hills behind your house. This time of day, it was quiet outside. The flowers blew gently in the wind, petals trembling but stumbling hanging in there. You felt the breeze cool your heated skin and your relaxed shoulders. Cove closed his eyes, releasing a deep breath. I really love it out here. I do too. You do? That's surprising, you said jokingly. Your opinion has changed since you were first on the hill. He quietly enjoyed the moment. I do too. Cove smiled. Tendrils of his hair danced with the wind. A beat passed, but his gaze didn't stray from your own. His voice was impossibly soft when he spoke up again. I'm glad I met you, Pascal. Excuse me. You're really important to me, you know. You blushed at the statement. I feel the same. It's so nice of you to say. You smiled sweetly. You're being too sweet. You're special to me, Cove. You're special to me, Cove. La, 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 la. Being too sweet. To your surprise, He slowly shook his head. It's not just sweet, it's the truth. And Cole rested an arm on your shoulders, leaning against you. Even as the sun disappeared completely and the sky darkened, you and Cole remained side by side for as long as you possibly could. Oh, isn't that so sweet? He is so sweet. That's the only word I can say. It's the only word that fits. Okay, family. The sun warmed your skin from its place in the sky, and you closed your eyes, enjoying a mix of heat with the pleasant breeze that drifted past you. You and Lee had spread out a blanket on top of one of the hills behind your house and had been relaxing there for a while now. Oh, we hanging out with Lee now. Lee had come over earlier today, and while a range of activities had been discussed, from staying home to heading down to the beach, a picnic on the hill had been the choice you both settled on. A small spread was laid out in front of you. Some bottles of water, soft drinks, and some chips and sliced fruit. You sat up and reached for a snack, listening to Lee talk away about the musical she had gone to see a few days ago. It, it was unbelievable. They were singing, dancing, and crazy stunts, and it was all done live right in front of my face. Maybe one day we'll go together. I gotta see some more shows like that. You smiled at Lee's enthusiasm, knowing how much she enjoyed singing the performance. We only saw her like in a bubble because we talked to her on the phone. But she's so pretty. Look at her hair, a nice wave she got going on. She got a nice jeweled headband and necklace. Also, her hair's red too. She has blue eyes too. Does Ariel have red and blue eyes? I almost said she looks like Ariel, the Little Mermaid. Ariel does have blue eyes. Yeah. Or is it green? No, it's blue. It's blue. She looks like an Ariel. Perfect. Her eyes are blue too. Missed it. You smiled at Lee's enthusiasm, knowing how much she enjoyed singing and performing. And she was good at it too. You had gotten a chance to hear her sing a couple of times, and you knew she put a lot of effort into it. You also liked to sing, but you weren't very good. You also liked to sing and had talent of your own. You didn't like to sing, but you have been told you were good at it. You weren't good at singing, and that's what you find. I mean, at this age, I also like to sing, but people told me that I need to stop singing. That's what people told me. People said okay. I mean, my parents, they let me sing, but they were like, Josh, like, but um, there was this girl in my middle school, not middle school. There was a girl in my elementary school. She would always, I would sing. I was okay. I probably should have been annoying in class, maybe because I'm finding out I'm a neurodivergent person. Maybe I didn't know that. I probably should have tried to sing opera at the table and think that would annoy people. But she was annoying. She was mean. She was a bully, and she would always tell me to stop singing. So I never thought I would sing until I went to high school, and um, became eventually joined the choir at the school, and then my choir director, she trained my voice and made me into the singer that I am today. Well, helped contribute, make me into the singer that I am today. By this time, I wasn't good. That didn't stop me from doing it though. If I had listened to that girl in my elementary school, I would not have released that cover that y'all saw, and I wouldn't have like been doing. I even had a solo at my high school one time. That was nice. I also had a solo at 1 year in college too. I wonder if maybe we could put on our own show. Think about how fun it would be. We could listen. We could we could perform to our parents, ask our friends and some other people to come and watch too. It'd totally work. Yeah, let's do it. I don't know about that. The idea give you stage fright. Sure, I'll give it a go. That's not a good idea. It'd be embarrassing. I don't know about that. I have stage fright. I kind of still do have stage fright. I've gone. Choir has helped me become less scared to perform or speak in front of people. I'm really happy about that. It's kind of helped my anxiety a little bit. But yeah, before that, oof, gosh, I had very bad anxiety about like performing or presenting. Like I would sweat so much. Um, like wouldn't showing off, wouldn't showing off to everybody be fun? You thought of the audience made you feel queasy. Not really. Are you really super sure? You have so many skills you could show off to the masses. Um, okay, I'll do it. I'll try. You can see that Lee was really excited about the idea, so with a small nod of your head, you agreed to go along with it. Woo! That was so cute. Woo! I'm gonna sing. Do you want it too? Or maybe you want to do something else? I'll sing too. I'll dance. I'll write the song. I'll do some kind of stunt that goes to the music. Pick up the outfits. I'll do the makeup. I'll make a backdrop or some kind of stage. I'll sing too. We'll sing together. Maybe singing with you might lessen my nerves. Cool. We'll perform an incredible duet. Is there anything that's coming to your head? Mm, one more thing. No, that's probably it. No, that's all. The two of you ran back to your house to grab the supplies you needed, dodging your mom's amused questions before heading back out to the blanket to get started. You lay down on the blanket together, your MP3 player in hand. MP3 player, wow, it's crazy. The two of you swipe through the songs to choose one, and you both like, I have not used an MP3 player in a long time. Lee and you discuss the plans in detail, settling on a song first and then practicing out parts for the show. I thought about getting one so I don't have to have, cause like it's nice to have everything on your phone, but I feel like having a separate device for your music is also handy. I've thought about getting one again, just to have audio and music on that, and that's the only thing that's on that. I think it would be nice. The afternoon passed quickly, and the sun dropping lower and lower into the sky. And after having thoroughly worked out how the show was going to go, you decided to take a break. Oh, we should have invited Cove to watch us practice for our show. He could tell if it's bad before we put it on the real thing. That's smart. You guessed that would have been okay. I'm glad he didn't see. You said nothing. That's smart. We should ask him to watch us later. Okay. It's too bad Derek is in the neighborhood today. I like him. Oh, do you? Okay. Yeah, he's a good person. I really like him too. He's okay. He's kind of boring. I don't really like him. Yeah. I knew you would. So, exactly how much do you like him? Or maybe there's someone else I haven't heard of yet. You wiggled her eye, Lee wiggled her eyebrows as you suggested, and you knew exactly what she was implying. Lee, there's nobody I like that right now. Lee huffed in disappointment, her pursing her lips together. Darn. But you promise to tell me if that changes, right? I'll do it for you. Maybe. I'll tell you if that ever happens. Boo. You knew her whining wasn't serious. That's just how she was. Speaking of crushes, there's one boy I think is pretty cute. Lean back on your elbows and listen as Lee talked about a crush, all in great detail. It was nice to have her telling you a little gossip for once, rather than always trying to get it out of you. Finally, you both decided to pack everything up and then head back home for the evening. Lee talked excitedly about the show as you did, and you thought back on what you had already accomplished for it. You could definitely do with a little more practice, but what you have so far was a solid foundation for the performance. Upon walking through the door, you were met by your mom and Elizabeth hovering around each other in the living room. Tension hung thick in the air as the three of them turned to you and Lee frowned slightly. You had interrupted something. Exactly what, you weren't sure. Wow, who died? What's going on? You looked between them but said nothing. Hello? What's going on? Your moms looked at each other, wondering which of them was going to speak first. Eventually, Mom cleared her throat and began to and spoke. We were just having a talk with your sister. The room fell quiet again, but quite, no one quite knew what to say. You felt incredibly awkward, but the silence didn't last long. What happened? I'm nervous now. You got me scared. You don't have to stop. Just you don't have to stop just because these two are here. There's no reason to keep keeping a secret. Elizabeth was mad, her arms folded defensively over her chest, but your mom's not in agreement with her. Oh, okay. Okay. Elizabeth was talking about her parents. Her biological ones. The world spun around you at the news. You couldn't understand. Why was this happening now? When you glanced at Lee, she shuffled her feet uncomfortably as though she didn't know what if she should be there or not anymore. You didn't know either. Your moms had always been open and honest about the fact that neither of them had given birth to you or your sister, but the details hadn't been fully explained before. It made sense that Elizabeth didn't know a lot about her biological parents and wanted to know more. You just had never, you just hadn't ever thought you'd accidentally stumble into it. Elizabeth looked at your parents expectantly. She wasn't going to let the unintentional interruption derail things. We don't want to keep that information from you either. It's your right to know your past, but we did want to wait until you asked us to hear yourselves. Well, it's happening now, so. Your mom shed a nervous glance, and Ma took a quick breath before speaking again. Oh, she's Filipino. Okay. I adopted you from the Philippines when you were just a baby. Elizabeth dropped her arms, her eyebrows shooting upwards in surprise. Wait, I wasn't born here? No, you weren't. You could clearly see that your sister was appalled by this information. You struggled even more with what to do or how to react. Am I gonna have to pass some tests to even be a citizen? No, you are adopted into the country. We took care of things. You're already a citizen. You have nothing to worry about. I followed all the laws when it came to bringing a child into the U.S. None can be held against you. Elizabeth sighed, placating the information. Placated with the information, but still far from happy. Who are my parents? As people. Why did they put me up for adoption in the first place? Ma softly put her hands over Elizabeth's shoulder, trying to provide some support and before she gave her the answer. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie. Your parents were reported to have died. They didn't go into details on the specifics of how, but you were an orphan. I wish I had better news for you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth was torn between emotions. Her eyes filled with tears as she threw her hands in the air, settling on enrage. Oh my gosh. Great! So I could never meet them, even if I wanted to. Not that I could have anyway, since they lived in another part of the world where they were still alive. Oops. Elizabeth turned her back on you and your moms and stormed off, sprinted up the stairs and to her room before anyone could stop her. I have to go and talk to her. Mom immediately started to follow her, but Mom gently held her by the arm and shook her head. We need to give her a little space to process it all. Your mom's head hung low, but she stopped walking. With Elizabeth now gone, the two of them seemed to remember you and Elizabeth was standing awkwardly off to the side. I'm sorry you had to see all that. That's not how I expected it would have happened when the time came. But since it's the topic of the day, Pascal, is there anything you'd like to ask? You deserve to know after all. Lee patted your back and gave you a supportive look. Oh wow. I mean, I'm not adopted, so I don't have any experience with this sort of thing. Um, I mean, I'm curious, but I'd be kind of stunned. Couldn't even answer. Do I want to know? Do I not want to know? Not right now. Huh. As someone who's not adopted, I would want to know who my biological parents. Like that seems like very simple. Like I want to know. But someone might be adopted, might not be ready to hear that right now. If I was adopted, would I be ready to hear that at this moment? I might not right now, since um, Elizabeth was just angry and we got guests over. It'd be too much going on right now. That's perfectly fine. You can always ask later if you change your mind. You smiled at them gratefully. It was nice to know that they wanted to be open with you about the topic, even if it wasn't a talk you wanted to have now. No one seemed to have any words after that. You went up to your room. You need to stay here with your moms. You want to get out of the house. You want to see Elizabeth. Um, I want to see Elizabeth, to be honest. You were worried about Elizabeth, even though she had been so angry when talking to your moms about everything. You could see she was clearly sad. You headed over to the stairs and up to her room. Um, I guess we'll leave Lee. It'd be best to speak to Elizabeth alone. There was more chance of her opening up to you that way. Waiting in front of your sister's door, you raised a hand to knock on it. There was no answer for a good minute or two, and when you wriggled the handle, you found it was locked. Raising your hand again, you knocked louder this time, thinking she must have had her headphones on or couldn't hear you. When she didn't answer the door for a second time, it was clear to you that she still couldn't hear, was just straight up ignoring you. It hurt to be shut out, especially right now. Okay, well, we still have to choose somewhere. Let's go out the house. I'm gonna go out just for a little while. I'll be back before it's really late. Your mom's nodded understanding, pressing you to make the best call for yourself. Are we leaving Lee? I was kind of expecting Lee to come with us. Without knowing where you really wanted to go, you began walking down the street quietly, dragging your feet. You turned and kept walking, unsure of what else to do. Everyone else had been so upset, and you didn't have the first idea on you could help. Eventually, you found yourself at the beach, your feet sinking into the soft sand while you looked out over the ocean. You took off your shoes and placed the sand over the water's edge, letting the cool ocean swirl around your bare feet. It was comforting being there, with the ocean breeze rustling your yellow hair and the smell of salty water filling your nostrils. Eventually, you took a seat down and on the ground, watching the sun as it dipped further and further towards the horizon before it disappeared completely. The sky shifted from blue to pink to orange and then deep blue of the night. A sudden shout drew your attention away from the sea. Someone was calling your name. Your head snapped to the source of the yells. At the edge of the beach, where grass met, there was a silhouette in the darkness. The person was unmistakable to you. It was Cove. I knew it. What was he doing here? His eyes settled on you ahead. Realizing you were in fact there, he rushed down to the shore to where you sat. You could tell he was out of breath when he approached. You rose to meet him. Cove, did something happen? No, not to me. Not to me anyway. I want to know what happened to you. I went to your house to say hi, but your parents said you were gone, that you need to get away. I mean, I had to think something was going on after something like that, so I came to find you. There's a lot going on right now. It's nothing. You didn't speak to him. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here. Let's thank him. Coles forward, and concern at your words. Can you explain everything to me? You nodded softly before taking a heavy breath and launching into your story. Cole sat quietly and listened attentively, nodding to every now and then or taking a sharp inhale. It took a long time for you to relay the details. Dozens of stars were pinpointed in the sky as the night wore on. Silence settled between you as Cole sat quietly for a moment, contemplating everything you had said. When he finally spoke, his voice was quiet, drifting through the night towards you. Pascal, about what's happening with Elizabeth, your parents, your family, everything. He stopped suddenly, and you got the impression he was struggling to find more to say. You know, Elizabeth and I have never been super close, but I don't think she wants our family to break up or drift apart, even if she complains about it sometimes. He smiled at you a little, and you could tell he was trying to be confident. And your moms definitely don't. It doesn't matter if you're not blood related, you're definitely family. I can see that, and I hope you can too. Thank you, Cove. His words made you feel better, and you knew it was true. You loved your family. Elizabeth cared about it too. She was just hurt. Hey, the sudden voice of your sister behind you made you jump. You saw her standing a little way away. She walked closer, and you didn't quite know what to do or what she was planning on saying. Would you mind going? I just want to talk to Pascal. You can come back. It's not like I'm gonna be forever or anything. Cole seemed equal parts concerned and skeptical. Even now wasn't a concept that thrilled him. You can't ask that. You nodded your head in agreement. You want to talk to you. I want to talk to you too. Oh, then we're on the same page. She made a little move along gesture with her hands and it was settled. Oh my gosh. You could have just asked politely, like, hey, Cove, can I talk to my brother real quick? That's what you could have said. You waited until the two of you were alone before fixing her with an inquisitive look. Elizabeth folded her arms, looking you over. Did moms tell you about your parents too? I didn't want to know. Elizabeth nodded in understanding, her face solemn. Why did you want to talk to me? I went to see you and you didn't even answer. Elizabeth raised an eyebrow at the news. I didn't hear anything. Shutting everything out with loud music was very typical of your sister. She didn't feel much less confused though. Why did you stop doing that then? She shook her head as though the answer should have been obvious. I was worried about you. I was the one who brought it up, but I made you deal with whatever was left when I was gone. She sighed, glancing upwards for a moment before settling on you once more. I wanted to ask you what happened with everyone breathing down our necks. I was pretty crappy you just to bail. I'm amazed you noticed that was unkind. Thank you for thinking of me. I'm not mad at you. You were quietly surprised by our mission. Um, I mean that's kind of harsh. I probably would never say something like that. This kind of sounds sarcastic. Uh, you were quietly surprised by our mission. She stuck her nose up a little at that, but her smile was soft. I'm okay, Elizabeth. It didn't upset me. How are you allowed to be that mature? The light and spirits in her were quickly gone as she slipped back into a scowl. Oh, yeah, that's true. You have to be born in the U.S. to become president. What? Oh, Elizabeth with the cries. No, she wanted to be president. And she now, and then she's all of a sudden found out that she can't do that because she wasn't even born here. That's so terrible. Yeah, I never even heard that dream of hers before. She noticed your bathroom and continued. I get I was never gonna be president, but it just feels weird having stuff taken away, not even getting a chance at it. That's so sad. I mean, people who immigrate here know they can never become president, but she thought she had a chance. That's so sad. I don't like having to know that when I was born, I was gonna have a completely different life. So different, I can't even think about what it looked like in my head. I could have spoken another language, lived away from everything I've ever seen here, had someone else as my sibling, and then my parents died, and I was adopted and got a life, and the life I got became a totally new thing forever. I can't go back to what it was even if I wanted to. Having to settle between you and the person who became your sister. I feel like that too, and you knew exactly how she felt. I knew exactly how she felt. It was a confusing feeling to have lived one way for as long as you can remember, but not having it be what was originally yours. Elizabeth watched you seriously. She was still trying to make sense of this to you and herself. I don't know why today was today. Nothing came up to ask me. Nothing came up to make me ask the question. It was just something that I've had in my head for a while. When it was just me and mom's in the living room, I just kind of said it. Finally, and there you go. She shifted from one foot to another, relaxing her stance just a bit. She also spoke more gently. Learning about them and what happened doesn't change how I feel about our family, Pascal. She smirked, fixing you with sharp eyes. I already figured out a long time ago that moms weren't our biological parents. That wasn't news. Technically, one of them could have been related to you. You kept listening to Elizabeth. It really doesn't change anything. I mean, I kind of thought that Elizabeth was either Ma's daughter from a previous um like relationship or encounter, something like that. Or maybe I was more thinking. I didn't even know she was interested in men at first. Um, so I was also thinking that she could be like a surrogate, and that Ma is the one that like gave birth to Elizabeth. That's what I thought at first. Technically, one of them could have been related to you. Our moms can have kids, just not both together. True, but I'm not half white or Native Hawaiian, so no, neither of them could have been my mom. I mean, did you even know that you were Filipino though? Nice try, smart Alec. None about the family I was Nothing about the family I was first born in would have made me decide. Like, nothing about the family I was first born in would have made me decide that this wasn't my family anymore. If you had hoped you'd be free of my big sisterly status, I don't think you're so lucky. She bumped her shoulder against Joe's playfully, her lips tilted at the corners. No, you smiled softly at her. You jokingly groaned at the prospect. You bumped her back. You hugged her. This deserves a hug. I'm a hugging person. When it comes to my family, I always hug my family. It took a few seconds, but she gave you a quick squeeze in return. You'll always be my family too. I think I'm really lucky. You took in a moment quietly. Don't think you're so lucky. Do I say that I'm actually lucky to have her, or do I just say I'm happy you my fam? You always my family. I think I'm really lucky. Chuckling, she seemed pleased with how the conversation had gone in the end. Ready to head back home? It's been a long day. You gave her a nod. Come on, you two, let's go. You walked home together in a comfortable silence down the well-worn street. The familiarity of it all felt nice. When you stepped through the door, you found your moms quietly sitting together at the kitchen table. They had snapped up when they got to their feet to meet you, Ma giving you a careful smile. We're so glad to see you. Hi. Sorry for walking away before. Everything was alright. You said nothing. I'm sorry for walking away before. That's alright, sweetheart. We're just happy to have you here again. Mom then came over and wrapped her arms around you and Elizabeth, giving you a tight hug. It didn't take long for Mom to join in, putting her arms around the both of you. Oh, look at Elizabeth. We really couldn't have asked for better kiddos. We love you. More than we could ever say. Mom. You smiled at the comfort. You were so glad your moms were alright. Just mushy me. Oh, mushy me. You all chuckled. The rumble of laughter shaking you all as you continue to hold each other tight. I love you too. They both pulled back eventually and grinned at the two of you, and you knew then that you all had each other, and you always would. Lee just stayed here the entire time. What did she do all by herself? I kind of feel bad for leaving Lee all by herself like this. Also, is your family wanting to tell each other I love you? I've seen people online, especially people who I've seen a lot of people who are Asians say that I love you is not a thing that people usually say in their families, and our family says I love you all the time. When we hang up the phone on each other, um, just throughout the day. Um, we used to say every night before we went to sleep. We used to pray, give each other a hug and kiss, and say I love you every single night. We stopped doing that as we got older, but we just had a tradition of just saying I love you all the time. No, some families don't do that. Hey, I hope you're alright. Lee came up to you, a soft smile plastered on her face. Okay, family does that too. That's nice. Lee came up towards you, a soft smile plastered on her face. And are you okay, Elizabeth? Elizabeth rolled her eyes and huffed a breath, and you knew she wasn't used to showing her vulnerable side. I'm doing fine. Lee, Lee nodded, though you could tell she didn't quite believe her. Well, now, since we're all here, how about we do something together as a family? That sounds like an excellent idea. We should have some fun before the night's over. I love the sound of that. Yeah. I forgot Cole was still. I forgot Cole was still here. Yeah. Okay. Why not? You had the smile that threatened to tilt your lips, knowing that Elizabeth must have been a good move if she hadn't teased Cole for being part of it. Oh, Cole is is part of the family. That's nice. Yeah, Cole is family. That's nice. Well, no matter what she could have said about it, you wanted him to be here. Two of you had practically grown up together over the past 5 years. Who's got a suggestion? It should be something we can all do in the house with everyone in the same room. You still remember the show you and Lee had been working on earlier? Oh yeah, maybe we could do our show. A show? This is the first time we're hearing of this. I'm intrigued. It'd be amazing if you put it on for us to watch. Oh yeah, I need to see what you've cooked up. Oh my gosh, wait, cook up? Is this old or new? I've been hearing a lot of people say, let him cook, let him cook, let her cook, let them cook recently on the internet. Like that's like a phrase I've been hearing all the time. I wonder if Elizabeth is like kind of using it the same way or not. Like I don't know how old. When did this come out? It's not that old, but I don't know when. How old is Cook? Okay, this came out 2020. How old is like the recent "let him cook" phrase been around? I don't know. I just feel like that might be a coincidence. She might not mean the exact same way, but I feel like that's funny. Uh, that'd be cool. You smiled at Lee, who turned a gesture while bouncing on her heels in excitement. I mean, I think I heard that like Riz came out in like 2019, but it just started picking up traction recently. I wonder if Cook is something that's been around. Take some seats and we'll get everything together. Your moms collected the chairs from around the dining room and set them in a row in the living room where there was enough space for the show. While they did that, you and Lee quickly gathered the supplies you needed and rehashed the plan one last time. You listened through the song you had chosen one last time. When the two of you returned to the living room, everyone was sitting and chatting amongst themselves while they waited. The group quieted down when you and Lee stood in front of them on your makeshift stage. Lee was buzzing quietly with excitement beside you. You felt nervous all of a sudden. No matter how small the audience was, it still all eyes on you. Okay, so welcome to our show. We only came up with it today, but we'll promise it'll be good. You stay quiet. Thank you for being here tonight. No refunds. You're gonna be real impressed. I'm gonna be quiet since I'm nervous right now. Your mom gave you a thumbs up and encouragement ran for the performance. Then you nodded at Lee that you're ready to begin. You took in a deep breath, with few beats, waiting the few beats it took to get into the song and started singing. You're part of the song joined in just a few moments later and you smiled at each other as you sang together. When the performance was over, Lee took your hand in hers and the two of you bowed deeply together. Everyone gave you a round of applause and cheered you on for an encore. When you straightened yourself up, you were happy to see that even Elizabeth was clapping for you. Bravo! Bravo! Yeah, cooking. That's such a fun phrase. It's such a funny phrase. Cooking. You are so talented. Your family rose from their seats and came over to congratulate you more directly. You were beaming from ear to ear. Cole was the first one to approach, stepping to you and Lee with a smile on his face. Nice job. Thank you. You're a great singer, Pascal. It was really cool. Thanks. I was pretty good, huh? You blushed and said nothing. Luckily, we had a crowd who was easily impressed. I would say I'm inclined to say thank you, but I feel like this is so thanks. It's so there's no emotion to that. I want to add some emotion. Uh, Let me blush. Cole chuckled and shook his head. Your parents gushed about how great everything was and thank you for sharing it with them. Elizabeth was complimentary in her own way. Although she described the show as cute, which you knew she meant as kind of kidding, you laughed it off, however, and you were just happy that everyone had a nice time. In that moment, you couldn't have been more pleased to be a part of the family you had. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so we'll do these two, and then we'll call it since I said that I do have homework to do. So I'm just gonna do these two, and then what time is this? Like 8:30. Yeah. When this is done, that'll be it for today. I want to do all of them today. I'm so like into it, but I have homework to do. So just the top row. Sunlight shone through the windows as you sat in your living room, your home phone pressed to your ear. Cole was on the other end. It had been shaping up to be an ordinary day, like any other, until called unexpectedly. He sounded unusually nervous, greeting you. He listened silently as he kept talking, his words stilted. So, I was just wondering, do you want to come over to my house for dinner tonight? The question came out strangely, almost like he had rehearsed it a few times beforehand. Your eyes widened a little. You weren't expecting this to be the reason behind the call. Yeah, I'll go. It was, huh? Oh. It seemed like Cope still had more to say. And you just interrupted him. Oops. Cool. Well, he stumbled for a bit, trying to gather his thoughts again. My mom and dad, they really want you to be there. If your parents don't have a problem with it, they wanted me to ask you. Okay. Have a nice shower. See you later, hopefully. Did I miss anything? No, I didn't. Okay. You took a moment to think. Dinner at home would be quiet and uneventful today. If you really wanted to, you could go to Coast instead. Coast spoke up again, breaking your thought train. His voice was softer than before. Also, I want you to be there too. Can you? Come over. I mean, wait, let me reread the first sentence that he said. Okay. Yeah, I can come. I have to ask my mom and I'll get back to you. No, can't make it. Why am I the only one invited? Or did you mean the whole family? I have to ask my mom to get back to you. Okay, tell me when you can. You sounded noticeably relieved by your response. Was you coming over for dinner today that serious? He spoke to you for a little while longer to explain what time to come over and other details and hung up. And that was that. For now, in a way. You called Ma right afterward. She picked up on the third ring. It wasn't a long conversation. When she asked, when you asked to go to the Holden house for dinner, she was more than happy to give permission for it. No problems there. Ma wasn't the one to complain about you spending time with Cove. Cove got a quick call from you afterwards, so he knew for sure that you would attend dinner. Then you would go, then your goodbyes. Then you said your goodbyes and went on with the afternoon. Soon enough, the sun dipped out of the sky and evening came. It was not time. It was not time. It was time for you to head to Cove's house. After letting Elizabeth know that you were leaving, she didn't look up on the TV. Just grunted. You made the small journey across the street. You knocked a couple of times on the heavy door to their condo. As you waited for an answer, you found yourself contemplating being a guest while both of Cole's parents were there. It was exciting. You were apprehensive. The idea made you curious. You didn't think it would be especially interesting. You couldn't say you were thrilled. I was a little apprehensive. You didn't know what to expect from this dinner party. You didn't get too much time with your thoughts, though. The door opened soon enough. Cole's mom, Kara, stood in the frame, smiling warmly at you. Hey, Pascal, welcome. Please come in. She opened the door wide and moved to make room. You stepped inside, allowing her to shut it behind you. Thanks so much for coming over. I know it's kind of last minute, last second. Thank you for having me. Of course, just make yourself at home. It's not my home, but I've been given permission to say that. Hey, Pascal, welcome to our humble abode. You jerked your head towards the sound of Mr. Holden's voice. He waved at you briefly from the kitchen, with his back turned and a large spoon in hand. Hope you're hungry, 'cause I'm whipping up a lot of tasty stuff. Truth was where you heard something sizzling on the stove. You closed your eyes and exhaled. It smelled spicy and savory. With Mr. Holden busy and Cove nowhere to be seen, it was just you and Kara. She gave you a wry smile. He sure is. Well, I've been barred from the kitchen the entire time I'm staying here. Can you believe that? She nudged you with an elbow. Mr. Holden scoffed good-naturedly, then spoke from over his shoulder. You're on vacation, Kara. You need to accept that already. She yelled back, amusement obvious on her face and her tone. People still cook when they're on a vacation. Everyone's gotta eat. It's not like I'm some celebrity who can go out for every meal or hire a private chef. Well, in this house, you are VIP. Kara smiled and shook her head quietly as she turned to face you once more. Sorry about that, Pascal. Here I was trying to start a conversation with you, and Cliff just had to butt in. I don't butt in. She eyed him, chuckling in disbelief. He wasn't exactly disproving a point with that. Kara leaned over to whisper to you. It's okay. He likes to be included, but since Clifford insists on cooking all by himself, we'll have to wait. He'll have to wait. Two of us can chat. The next question continued to be said in a hushed tone, just to be safe. So, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good. Kara didn't seem too convinced by her awkward phrasing, but she nodded anyway. She opened her mouth to say some more, but some silent pounding footsteps caught your attention. You checked to see Cove emerge from the hall a few moments later. She might have heard all the commotion and left his room to see what was going on. She quietly took stock. He quietly took stock of the situation. Pascal, you made it. Thanks for coming. Pascal, you made it. Thanks for coming. Cole's voice was unnaturally loud, as if he thought you wouldn't be able to hear him from where you were, standing a few feet away. Hi, Cove. You doing okay? Yeah, I'm fine. He didn't sound convincing at all. You narrowed your eyes suspiciously, but didn't call him out on it. If you could talk to him alone tonight, maybe you could ask him what was going on then. It was when you glanced away from Cove that you spotted his parents were watching the two of you interact. Cove noticed their stares too, meeting them with narrowed eyes. Are we having dinner now? Not yet, bud. I'm still cooking. Alright, I'm going back to my room. As if he turned to leave, he bent his head to the side and faced you. You coming? The question was quiet, but you heard it clearly. He smiled, pleased that he asked, and nodded in the affirmative. Cove turned fully and made his way back down the hall. Have fun, you two. We'll call you when the food's ready to go. With that, you followed after Cove. The two of you made your way down the hall. This is the first time you were invited to see Cole's room. You had visited Cole's room before, but only rarely. Going over to Cole's room was a standard occurrence for you nowadays. I feel like if we this close with each other, we should have seen each other's rooms at least once. Cole got to the door first, opening it and stepping inside. You joined him. There was a mat on the floor in front of the door. As you stepped over the threshold into his room, you felt the crunch of sand beneath your feet. The sensation was not new to you, of course. Cole constantly came back to his room covered in sand, not bothering to clean himself at the front door, and got it all over his personal space. Look at his room, though. He got a surfboard. He got some seashell collection. He got a fish tank, a map, nice modern looking bookshelf. Okay. That's just how he was. A little bit of a mess. You hadn't heard Mr. Holden ever scold him for it. Not like your moms would have if you done it. You can sit wherever you want. Cove himself took a seat at the edge of his large bed, looking like the picture of comfort, and left you to decide. You sat down on the chair. There was a desk chair in the room for some reason, after all. You walked over and rolled it out, taking a seat on it. It was stiff against your butt and creaked every time you shifted. He definitely uses bed space more often than this. Well, too late to complain now, you just have to deal with it. With silence growing, your gaze began to drift. You stared at the bright fish swimming in the tank. There were a bunch of them flown to and fro in the open space. They stood out starkly against the green aquarium plants. How long have you had those fish? My dad bought them for me not very long after I moved here. Guess it's been years now. Wow, that's a long time. He peered carefully into the tank. The fish looked to be doing well. He seemed he must take good care of them. Most of them were still small, but there was one especially big one. What are their names? I don't name them. Not really. He lifted an eyebrow at that. He continued explain. He continued the explanation sheepishly. Mostly, I just call them things based on what they look like. Squirt for a small one, tangerine for a really orange one, that sort of thing. I've had a lot of fish, and I'm not that good at coming up with names. You found that funny. Excuse me. Who knew that was a weakness of his? It was entertaining a revelation. Oh, a couple of them have other types of names. He points to the small orangish red fish. It was minding its own business, away from the others. My dad named her Dreamcatcher, and the other one's Mark. Mom came up with that one. Goose smiled to himself, his eyes reflecting the glow from the tank. It's so funny to have names like Tangerine, Squirt, Dreamcatcher, and then you have Mark. I feel like that's never mind. That reminds me of something, but I just can't think of it. Cole smiled to himself, his eyes reflecting the glow from the tank. You let other people name your fish? Oh, yeah, it's nice. He turned to you, tilting his head to the side. There was a considering look on his face. Do you want to name one? Can I? His smile grew a little at your interest. Sure. There's a few that don't have names right now, the newer ones. You can pick which you want to name. He pointed each of the recent acquisitions out to you. First one was the smallest fish in the tank. It was completely orange and zipped all over the place, running laps around the others. The second was slightly bigger and red. Its tail was dotted with black spots that almost resembled freckles. The last fish was the biggest one. It was multicolored. Its multicolored scales rippled over the bright light. The fish tank as it slowly made its way across the vast expanse. You went with the biggest fish. Holding on at your answer, waiting for you to decide on a suitable name. You watched the fish you chose closely. As you did, a name eventually came to you. Frank Sunbeam Gil Pascal Cove. I'm gonna name it Joseph after his coat of many colors, just like that fish is multicolored. Joseph, if you don't know the biblical story, Joseph, one of the sons of Jacob, had a coat of many colors that showed that he was a favorite of all the children, all the sons. So that's what reminds me of it. Alright, it's Joseph. With that, his attention moved from you to the tank. He peered fondly at it and its inhabitants. He smiled proudly at Joseph as it swam through the tendrils of the plants, disappearing and reappearing soon after. You know, I'm not allowed to have any pets at my house, not even fish. The corners of Joe's lips turned down at that. That doesn't sound fair. It's not like fish would make a mess of your house or anything. You just gotta take care of the tank and feed them, and they'll be okay. Right? My mom's gonna be strict over the weirdest things sometimes. They trust Elizabeth and me to go around the neighborhood alone, but they won't even let us have a pet. Doesn't make any sense. Maybe when they're older, even older, they'll let you. Maybe when you're even older, they'll let you. I don't know. They seem pretty against it. The current conversation brought to mind a memory from years ago. It was sinful without any warning, earning you a brief, confused look from Cove. One time, Elizabeth came back from playing at the beach and just shut herself into her room. She only came down for food and then she ran back upstairs straight after. It's kind of weird. My mom didn't think much about it at first. But then that night, Mom went to her room to say goodnight and started screaming. Mom and I ran over to see what happened. Liz had this huge lizard in her arms. Cove's eyebrows rose at that and he leaned forward in interest. A lizard? Where did that come from? Elizabeth said that she saw it half buried in the sand and didn't know what it was, and she put it out and got the answer, so she brought it home. She hid the lizard in her room for most of the day because she wanted to keep it. Mom and Mom were not happy. They worried about putting it out during the night, but she was going to have to let it go in the morning. Liz was really upset. She did bring it back to the beach eventually, but she wouldn't talk to anyone for days. When she did get over it, it was almost like it never happened. You laugh, thinking back to that time. Elizabeth had always been stubborn, but when she was younger, she forgot grudges quickly. Now it wasn't so easy. Cove had been quiet for most of the story, apparently from the reveal of the lizard. He had a thoughtful look on his face. I can't even imagine what it would be like to have a sibling. You gave serious thought to his statement before you told him. It's fun. There's ups and downs. You're lucky to be the only child. It's a nice idea in general, but my sister's Elizabeth. I don't know how to explain what it's like. It's fun. When we were younger, Lizzie and I played together when our parents were too busy. I probably would have been really bored if I didn't have her. Cove pursed his lips at the words, considering them quietly for a while. That's interesting. I think your family's cool. You don't have much else to say. Although, while on the topic of your family, you considered your relationship with your moms. They were absolutely the best. You got along with your moms. You thought your moms were okay. But your moms were difficult to deal with. You got along with your moms. You had disagreements with them, but at the end of the day, you loved them and they loved you. That was all that really mattered. Well, say what you want about them, but at least your mom's never tried to pay someone to be your friend. The thought prompted you to look over at Cole. He probably still didn't know what happened. Okay, we got a chance to tell again now. You doubted that Mr. Holden mentioned it, and you never had. You wondered if you should tell him. It was a long time ago, but you were keeping the secret from Cole. You didn't tell him. It was a bad time. You didn't tell him. You weren't sure how to react. You didn't tell him secrets meant to be kept. You didn't tell him. You just didn't know how to talk with Cole. You just had to tell him. It was a bad time. You could bring it up some other day when the moment was right. Time passed, but you didn't really notice. The two of you were busy making plans for the rest of the summer and chatting about your respective days. Eventually, you heard a muffled holler from a different part of the house. You and Cole raised your heads in unison. It's time for dinner. Cole watched the firmly shut door he had been locked behind for most of the night. We didn't make a move to get up from the bed. You couldn't see his face, so you didn't know what expression he was wearing. I'm glad you came. Cole peeked at you from the side. It's been awkward. I get that. It's been hard on you, huh? You felt sympathetic towards him. You didn't know what he was going through, but you cared about him. Cole said nothing else and remained sat where he was. Now would be as good a time as any to ask him why his parents so suddenly wanted you to come over. Is there a reason they wanted me to come over tonight? It hasn't been awkward just for me. Sometimes it gets like this when no one else is around, but you're here now. Huh. You hadn't considered that, but it sort of makes sense in a way. There's another shout from the outside, too muffled to actually know the words, but you can imagine what they were. Let's go. Cole finally got up, lumbering away with his shoulders sagged. You followed after him. Together, the two of you made your way back to the living room. As expected, Cole's parents were politely waiting for you at the kitchen table beside the windows overlooking the back of the house, where everyone prepared and sat. Mr. Holden beamed as you and Cove took your places. Come on now. Ooh, hold on a second. My sibling is calling me right now. Okay, I'm back. I had to fill out something for school real quick. I hope everyone's hungry. I cooked up a feast. I know I am. Yeah. Cole's mumbled response wasn't nearly as upbeat as theirs. His parents didn't notice, or they pretended not to. Mr. Holden instead looked at you, grinning. Let's just take a moment to thank our special guest for being with us here tonight. I'm so glad you were able to make it, Pascal, on such short notice, too. You thank Cole's parents back for inviting you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you both for inviting me. Well, that's it. Everyone, please dig in. You can help yourselves to the food. Upon his encouragement, you looked over the meal spread out in front of you. There was a large garden salad in the center, surrounded by a variety of Mexican dishes. There were a lot of sides and optional sauces to add. I was happy about these options. Yes. Yes. I was happy. Hmm. You love Mexican food, and there were so many dishes to choose from. You were practically drooling. Utensils and plates scraped and clinked together as the groups began filling their plates. Cliff, can you Cliff, can you pass the salsa verde? Of course. She's from Nevada, right? Will she have a salsa verde, verde, salsa verde? It's hard for me to say the and the together. Verde, verde, salsa verde. When she say that, she's from Nevada. There's a Hispanic population. There's a notable Hispanic population in Nevada. Let's see, Nevada Hispanic population. Okay, maybe she might be a person to try to have to speak with the accent. Thank you. Let me just say, you really outdid yourself tonight. I'm so jealous. Jealous of what? Your cooking's nothing to sneeze at, Kira. Cole's parents made small talk, filling the silence with what seemed to be barely an effort. You chimed in as well. Did it take you a long time to cook all this, Mr. Holden? Oh, not at all. Sure, this is more than I usually make for me and Cole, but I enjoyed every second of it. Might have gone faster if you had some help, though. Cole's mom grumbled, but it was lighthearted. Mr. Holden chuckled and shook his head. Not this again. I make the rules here, and I say guests don't cook. Even when they're staying for literal weeks? Even then. Everything looks great, Dad, as always. Thanks, sport. Glad you think so. Cove smiled. It was genuine, even if it was strained at the corners. Brief silences interspersed with small talk. You piled some food on your plate, waiting for your turn if someone was serve themselves a dish that you had your eye on. Once the food had been divided and things settled down, Cole's parents started talking again. Now then, you sat up in your seat when you noticed they were both looking at you. How's everything been over at your house? Are your moms well? You been keeping busy this summer? Or are you just trying to take it easy during the break? You felt overwhelmed by the sudden rush of questions. You more than happy to answer. You were surprised, but didn't mind the interest. You felt uncomfortable with the attention. You almost wanted to shrink under the table just to get away from the expectant stares, but you didn't, obviously. You answered how things were at your house. You answered how your moms were doing. You mentioned things you've done this summer. I'm not sure where to start or so much has happened. You should know what I've been up to since so much has included your family. I haven't really done much. Smart choice. Take it easy when you can. When I was around your age, busy work was the furthest thing from my mind. It's been good. Oh, that's wonderful. Still the same as always. Work is a little stressful, but there's still the normal grown-up stuff and nothing to worry about. I know too well what that's like, unfortunately. And that was for your question answering. Kira nodded along. You could tell she was actually listening to the words you were saying. She was trying to include you, not to humor you. Did you know, Cliff, Pascal's really into writing? She remembers. I love how she remembers that. Did you know, Cliff, Pascal's really into writing? Mr. Holden's face lit up, and he stopped eating so he could lean forward, his arms braced against the table. Oh, that's right. Very cool. It's just a hobby. I'm very serious about it. It was not a big thing. Oh, don't downplay your interests like that. Kara's right. If you enjoy it, then it's definitely a big thing. Thanks. Cole's parents are definitely the encouraging type, but you could already tell that much about them. There was a lull in the conversation as everyone focused their attention on their respective plates. You noted not for the first time that Cole's parents were the ones guiding the conversation. You wondered if you should break the silence this time. You brought up your own. You brought up your own topic of conversation. You left conversation topic to them. Mm, um, Mr. Holden was the one who spoke, glancing at his son before turning with an easy grin. Speaking of hobbies, Cole's been hitting the books hard. He's telling me all kinds of stuff things I've never heard of. You had already known that since Cole was so open with you, but it was interesting to hear his parents' perspective on it. The rest of dinner continued just like that, with light conversation as you ate your meals. Eventually, all the dishes on the kitchen table were pretty much gone. Kira set down her fork and rested her arms at her sides, letting loose a satisfied sigh. Her plate was completely empty. That was delish. Thank you for the culinary creation, Cliff. Sorta was like a flower soaking up the rays of the sun. He beamed, flattered by the praise. Look at him blush. Cute. You ate way too much. You ate till you satisfied. You try not to eat too much even though it's good. I'm the type of person to eat. So, you practically licked your plate clean. You were so full that you were afraid you might burst. I've done that. I haven't burst, but I've eaten to that point. Cove successfully kept his presence to a minimum for the full meal. He was slumped over, even now toying with the silverware. His parents practically only talked to you. Most attempts to entice him during the conversation failed. It wasn't typical for him to say so little. He at least tried to participate. You didn't get much time to contemplate Cole's situation because your attention was taken by Mr. Holden pointedly clearing his voice. Not to sound like a broken record, but thanks for coming, Pascal. I'm glad we finally got the chance to have you over for a real dinner. What? Did I hear that right? This is the first time Pascal's ever had dinner here? Why in the world have you invited him over sooner? Cole's always the one going over to Pascal's house until now. I mean, how was I supposed to reject the generous offers of the Whitlock family to host my kid? Kara shook her head, but the amused smile she was sporting told you that she wasn't actually mad. This guy, honestly. Um, the three of you looked at Cove in unison, his small sound being more than enough to get a focus on him after his silence. By now, he had stopped fiddling with his fork. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed yourself. You know, I should probably take a nice hot shower after this. The three of you. Would it be alright for Pascal to stay over? Like, for the night? He shot you a shy glance, then, smiling a little, if you're cool with that. Mr. Holden's shoulders stiffened. He sat up straighter, his eyes darting back and forth between you and Cove. His mouth opened, but not a peep came out. You've never seen Cole's dad say no to him before, but this was different than the usual request. It wasn't so simple. Mr. Holden was lost. Then Cole's mom reached out and took a hold of his shirt collar. She pulled him closer. I don't. Okay, I do remember playing this in the demo. This episode in the demo, but I don't remember how to respond. I don't think we got to stay over, but let's see. She glanced at you before leaning in and bringing a hand up in front of their faces. The two adults whispered seriously to each other. Cole's eyes opened wider. He leaned forward as if that would help him overhear his parents' conversation. Mr. Holden kept gesturing with his hands, while Kira made sure he didn't get too far away from with all his movements. Every now and then, both of them will watch you and Cove out of the corner of their eyes. What? They take forever to answer this question. Goodness. They looked like they were fighting to you. Looked more like some kind of tiny sports team having a private huddle. After a bit, they broke the group up. They moved back to sit properly in their chairs. I was a teenage extra columnist? Okay. I'll just type it in my browser so I can look it up later. I was a teenage extra columnist. Interesting. I'm already looking at the art on Google. Looks nice. I always love good art. Okay. I'll look more into it after, but thank you. After a bit, they broke the group up. Okay, so that. You snuck a look at Cove. He stared at them expectantly. You were eager to hear their verdict, too. We, Kira and I, think that should be fine, but. He lifted a finger dramatically, his brow raising as he met Cove's gaze and then your own. We'll have to talk with Pascal's parents to make sure they'll be comfortable with it. If they are, we can arrange for a sleepover to happen on a different night when everyone's more prepared. If Pascal's folks don't like the idea, there's nothing we can do. He finished his mini speech with a wide shrug against his full arms. He also checked out Kira from the corner of his eye and gave her a crooked smile. She nodded approvingly and grinned back. You saw her give him a thumbs up, but her head was partially blocked by the table. Not Kira like, good, that's how a dad's supposed to respond. Oh my gosh. They looked so pleased with themselves over the answer. Oh my god. But they just passed the actual decision on whether it was alright or not to someone else, namely your parents. If this was a sports game, they would have punted the ball away. Cove hung his head, deflated. He had been hoping you could stay over today, not some hypothetical time in the future. You gave him some words of encouragement. You patted him on the back. Psst, I'll sneak the phone into my room tonight. You could always sneak it to my room again. You pouted about it too. Is this a whisper? Will they hear me say this? Okay. Okay. So it is a whisper. Hey, you could always sneak back into my room again. Cole's eyes sparkled at the suggestion. You wouldn't be surprised to have him knocking on your window sometime. Though, he likely still would do without the invite. With that, dinner finally came to an end. Mr. Holden stood from the table and began collecting empty plates. Cole was asked to help out, which he did with a little fuss. Cole tried to lend a hand as well, however, Mr. Holden did not let her. It seemed she was barred from cleaning as well as cooking. You weren't allowed to chip in either, since you were there as the declared guest of honor. Although the meal was over, the night wasn't. It looked like you weren't going home just yet after all. You were asked to wait on the couch. While Cove and his dad would clean up the mess, Kira disappeared down the hall after shooting you a wink. It was a bit strange sitting by yourself while everyone else had something to do. Luckily, you weren't alone for too long. After a couple of minutes, Cove's mom turned with a deck of cards in hand. She strode into the room confident while shuffling. So, who's up for a few rounds? Cove and his dad looked over their shoulders at the question. They were mutually intrigued by the cards in her hands. She beamed at their expressions and stepped further into the living room. Ignoring the couches, she sat cross-legged on the floor by the coffee table. She turned to you and gestured at the space beside her, smiling invitingly. You accepted and followed her lead. The living room carpet was soft, though the hardwood floor underneath could definitely still be felt. Kira did an overhand shuffle while she waited for the others to finish their tasks. The smile had yet to leave her lips. This is gonna be good. Yeah, imagine if I did say that out loud. Oh my gosh. They're like, huh? This is something you've done before, mister? You're excited. You were nervous. You were bored. You were kind of annoyed. You enjoyed the enthusiasm. You enjoyed the enthusiasm. Cole's mom was fun and upbeat and easygoing. You leaned closer to watch her expertly shuffle the cards. It didn't take much longer for Cove and his dad to wrap things up and call it good. Cove's dad appeared first, followed closely behind Cove. Mr. Holden rubbed his hands together in anticipation. All right, I'm ready. As he took a seat across from you on the floor, you noticed that Cove hadn't joined him. He went straight down the hall instead, without even a word. You st- you stared on confused as she disappeared through his bedroom door. Cove's parents didn't look concerned at the stunt. Karis nonchalantly split the deck of cards in two and riffled, riffled the house together while offering an explanation of sorts. Cove doesn't keep his wallet with him while at home. He puts it away. What? Coco returned to the living room, a black wallet in his hand. He took a place at the foot of the table with the rest of you. You blinked as Cove unzipped his wallet. You all use real money on card games with family? While you sat there, your hands idle in your lap, the three shot looks at one another and size each other up. That's right. $5 per round per person. What it takes all. Go home, go big, or go home. Oh? Are you planning on kicking Pascal to the curb? Or do you intend on donating to the guest of honor's pot, Mr. High Roller? Mr. Holden narrowed his eyes and leaned back against the side of the couch, completely at ease. If Pascal wants to play, I'll fund his way in. Don't worry about it. He rested an arm across the top of his knee that he propped up. Cole's dad was acting slick in a way you'd never seen before. You appreciated his offer. You joked that he shouldn't be so confident. You felt awkward about the situation. You showed it, and this was pretty appealing. Um. You appreciate his offer. Thanks, Mr. Holden. His tone and stance instantly became more familiarly friendly when he started directing his words to you. No problem. You can count on me. You can let me pay for Pascal. He's my friend. Mr. Holden grinned with a chuckle. All right, bud. I can see. You're too polite for me. Well, you've got your ticket. Interested in throwing in? You glanced around. This seemed like serious business. In response, you, in response to your consternation, Kara softened a competitive smile. Don't worry too much. We'll probably just do some rounds of goldfish tonight. No biggie. What do you think? Uh, sure. If y'all gonna invite me, I might as well join. I'd love to play. Miss Holden gave you a big thumbs up while Cole nodded firmly back. You're really good at Go Fish. You were decent at Go Fish. You left it all up to luck. You're always bad at Go Fish. I mean, like, I don't even know how you could be particularly good at Go Fish or not. I mean, it's always depends on luck. Card games are most about chance after all. Yeah, it's like, you know. Fantastic. We'll play for however long everyone wants to keep going, or until people start running out of cash, but are still refusing to quit while they're behind. Speaking for yourself, I see. With a laugh, Karen nudged you with an elbow, then motioned towards the other two with a chin. Don't be fooled by the soft faces. These bulls are sharks. In reaction to her words, Mr. Holden smirked, and Cole's eyebrows became more angled. Kira's phrase made you think back to when you were young, specifically Mr. Holden's favorite shark pants that he used to wear all the time. They've been a fit for him in ways you didn't know of. You could feel the tension in the air. Cove and his parents glued their eyes to one another, then all placed $5 bills in an empty space in front of them. Cole dropped an extra one for you, giving you a tiny smile after he did. Look, I know. Literally everything he does. Everything he does is cute. Oh my gosh. Once this was done, Kira began dealing out the cost to everybody. It was time to begin. The first round came and went quickly, with the group getting into the groove of things. You lost, which meant you didn't have any money to add to the pot for another game. Hey, I'll vouch you in this next round, Pascal. How generous, even though you lost your own bet already. Kara stuck a finger in Mr. Holden's chest. So did you, hotshot. Cole had been the one to claim the prize this time. He was quietly pleased with himself while his parents jokingly ragged on each other. Kara wasn't lying, the boys were shocked. I'll pay for it. Pass out another round. Fine. They answered in unison and got their heads back in the game. Oh, he's paying for us again. As the night went on, so did the games. Mr. Holden was joking to shake his fist whenever someone other than him got a pair. Kira acted as a news anchor, reporting every move everyone made by speaking into a crow fist. Cole was still a few words, but now, because he was focused on the game instead of being overcome with awkwardness, most of the time, you got spotted a smile on his lips. You won quite a few games, to your delight. You had a hefty money pile on your side of the table. You must regret him paying Pascal's way in now, huh? No way. Pascal might be beating me, but he's also beating you two. Cole turned towards you and smiled, looking pleased with your ability to match his mom and dad. You grinned at him, touched by his speedy comeback. Period. As it became clear that where the money went in the moment didn't really matter. It became clear that where the money went didn't really matter. They ended up giving it back to one another in other ways, and not just through more rounds of cards. You sat back, looking over the scene. A tiny smile grew on your face. Cole's family was pretty cool, you thought. You were glad you got the chance to come over to spend time with the three of them. Nice. I did say I was gonna finish the whole. What time is it? It's only 9:18. No. I self-restraint. I did say I was gonna do the entire first row, but it's getting a little late, and this homework is due the minute before midnight. So I need to give myself time to like go through it. So I'm gonna stop right here, so I can have like about 3 hours to go and do it, because I have to read something. So yeah, that was fun. The wait till next week to play, but that was fun. Um, this weekend I'm gonna be out of town. I'm going on a trip with the Glee Club at my university. We're going like up north of the state. It's like several hours away. So yeah, I won't be doing anything this weekend. So the next stream will be the Mamiya stream on Monday. But yeah, that was fun. Um, Anything else to say so far? No, nothing else. But I'm writing a script. I guess I can say I'm writing a script for some of the shorts I'm going to be releasing on linguistics. I'm releasing a script for that, so I can eventually record them soon and have them edited and posted, so y'all can learn a thing or two about linguistics. But yeah, that's it. That's what I'm working on behind the scenes. But yeah, thank all y'all very kindly for coming. Much obliged. And I guess I'll see y'all on Monday, right? Y'all come back now, you heard me. Thank you so much. I hope the um we have a performance to do over the weekend, but we were actually trying to do a bunch of fun stuff. So thank you. See y'all later.